What's happening here in Brazil is the most important fight for free speech in the world. If Brazil is allowed to slip into totalitarianism, then we're at risk of seeing totalitarianism spread worldwide. The authoritarian leaders of the world are watching Brazil. They're trying to see if the dictators of Brazil can get away with what they're doing by banning X. So we've got to support the resistance here, and there's nobody better to celebrate our freedom with than the Brazilian people.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Nez Nation Live. We are talking today. It is September 7th, 2024. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know. Type TR in the comments, please, for Team Replay. Welcome, live viewers. We've got the best mods in the biznaz. Thank you, Jim Barron. Ivan Popovich in the house. Good to see you, Robert. Patty's in the house. China Baby. I need to make Robert Littlejohn probably a mod, too. If you're up to the task, Robert, I'll make you a mod. We have a lot of important, this is like serious stuff we have to talk about today. If you're wondering, man, I keep hearing all this stuff about Brazil. What's going on? Why are they banning free speech? Why are they? Why is this Chief Justice Moraes, or however you say his name, why is he overreaching his judicial jurisprudence? And what's happening here? And why is the UK banning free speech? Why is the EU banning free speech? And are we next? Is the US next? This is a very, very important. So grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, sit back, relax. I'm going to explain everything for you. You just saw some live footage. So it is Brazilian Independence Day. They're celebrating their independence 9/7, September 7th. In Brazil, tensions have escalated around issues of free speech, judicial overreach, and political polarization. Does that sound familiar? At the center of this controversy is Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes. I'm going to show you. He's on the thumbnail, but I want to actually show you kind of the image of this guy, which is really kind of, I got to be honest with you, really creepy. Sort of, it kind of is befitting what's happening and who this guy represents. So let me just share screen real fast. I want to show you while I explain this. So this guy's at the center of the controversy. He's a Supreme Court Justice, Alexandre de Moraes, and he's basically taken a hardline stance on quote unquote disinformation and social media regulation. Now, why this is such a big deal, my fellow Americans, why this is absolutely huge is because if you remember what was happening in the UK recently, they were arresting people, literally arresting people for any dissenting comments or whatever they consider dissenting, basically anything that they disagreed with. They essentially were going to charge them, prosecute them, and put them in jail. It is scary to me that in the year of our Lord, that's pretty good. Labs evident, Nosferatu. It is unbelievably surprising and eerie and really scary to me to see that this is happening. This is actually happening in the year of our Lord, 2024. We are literally experiencing an attack on free speech like we've never seen. And I'm going to share with you so much. Stick around. I've got so much to share with you. I'm going to explain everything about what's happening in Brazil, I'm going to show you footage of these amazing, the uprising of the people, protests. And I'm also going to share with you some very important, the mainstream media doesn't want you to see this, important footage. Okay, this is a good comment right here. Freeman Pennington, I'm going to tell you exactly why, because this impacts us. It impacts everybody. And if we're not careful If we don't stop this now, if we don't make our vote count in November, it's going to happen to us. And I'm going to share with you. This is a great comment. Freeman Pennington says, who cares what's happening over here? How's this going to affect me? They're never going to kill free speech in America. I hope to God you're right, but you underestimate these hypocrites. You underestimate Kamala Harris, who is one of the most ruthless individuals to ever enter American politics. You do so, my friend, at your own peril. And I'm going to share with you, scary, but it has to be seen. This is why I want you to tap the thumbs up. This is why I want you to share this with everybody. Everything I'm going to share with you today, they will not show you on woke, fake, mainstream media. They won't show this anywhere. I'm only showing this here. You will only see this here, my friends. I promise, my fellow Americans. This is a fact, okay? And so I'm going to share with you footage coming up soon. Stick around, hang in there, because I'm going to share with you footage of Kamala Harris and her viewpoints on free speech, on regulation of social media platforms like X. I have gone on the record. Maybe one of my mods can share a link. You got to follow me on X because I post so much stuff on X that I can't post here or anywhere else. I have gone on the record to say Elon Musk's purchase of X is one of the greatest contributions to the principles and values that the framers and founders of our great republic and constitution ever embedded into the fabric of our country. It is one of the greatest contributions to freedom in the history of man. I will say that. I will yell that at the top of my lungs at the highest peak because it is an absolute testament to free speech. The guy doesn't need the money. He's not making a dime. As a matter of fact, he's losing a lot of money. He's getting a lot of hate and stress. I mean, governments are coming after him. This is totalitarianism. You heard the gentleman in the video that I played for you at the beginning. This is totalitarianism. If it takes over here, it's just like communism. If you don't stop it, it's a cancer. It will grow. It will spread wide and far. And we're already seeing that in a lot of instances. So let me explain a little bit more. I want to explain everything that's happening here. So Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes has taken a hardline stance on disinformation and social media regulation. His decision to ban, yes, he has made a fully bilateral decision to ban the X platform. A lot of you guys might still know it as Twitter. It sparked widespread protests. I want to show this a clip right here, which I think is really fantastic. I want to share this amazing clip of the people of Brazil essentially coming together. This is such an amazing, amazing shot right here. Let me share this really quickly. This is so awesome. Look at this. Look at all these people. Look at all these people. They're yelling for Lula, who's the current president, and Moraes, that they won't stand for an end of free speech. This is really phenomenal, is what this is. This is huge because you won't see this. You won't see this anywhere else. They're not going to show you this on the mainstream media. So you have the poor people of Brazil. This is one of the biggest countries in the world, almost as large as the US. They tout democracy. They tout all these freedoms, but they're essentially acting like a banana republic. That's essentially what they're doing. And so this is a massive protest for free speech. And so it's absolutely imperative that the United States pays attention to this. So I'm going to connect everything. Just hang out and pay attention. Relax. I've got everything under control. This has turned Moraes into a very divisive figure, especially among supporters of former President Jair Bolsonaro, who claim that his rulings are politically motivated. Sounds familiar? I know it does. President Lula has found himself embroiled in this growing unrest as his administration, that's the current president, faces significant opposition. The political rivalry between Lula and Bolsonaro remains very intense, with Bolsonaro supporters protesting against Lula's government and that guy, Moraes' judicial actions, banning X being one of them. Large demonstrations, okay? Let me just play this while I'm kind of talking about this because it's so beautiful to see. What you have is large demonstrations have erupted, particularly on national days like Independence Day, showcasing the deep divisions within Brazilian society. Bolsonaro's base continues to challenge the legitimacy of the election that brought Lula back to power with accusations of election fraud, still fueling unrest, even though Bolsonaro himself is barred from running for office until, okay, this is really, really big, until 2030. So remember, why is this important for the US? Why is this huge for the US? Because what happened in 2020, everybody? Let me know in the comments down below. What happened in 2020? Hey, good to see you, Chuck. Chuck's in the house. What happened in 2020? How many remember them bolting up the windows? How many people remember what happened in the Georgia State Election Board? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't even news. I've talked about this in a lot of previous videos. There is now, massive evidence of hundreds of thousands of ballots that were not counted in Georgia during the 2020 election. So I don't know where my friend went, but some people are saying, hey, how does this affect us? Who cares what's happening in these crappy countries? This is an attack on freedom of speech, and it's not just happening in Brazil. Brazil could be a preview of what's could happen, God forbid, in the United States of America. Wait till I share with you video footage caught on camera, Kamala Harris, and what she thinks of all this. As if we couldn't despise her enough, she goes and proves us all wrong and tilts the scale even further. Wait till I share that with you. So the stakes are high. They're not just for Brazil. But for democracies worldwide. Because as Brazil grapples with how to balance free speech with the regulation of disinformation, the judiciary's role, particularly Moraes' action, his really aggressive, super aggressive actions, it raises questions about the separation of powers and the risks of judicial overreach. How many times have we seen? How many times have we seen the weaponization of the Department of Justice in our country? How about the sham hush money trial? How about the sham cash money G Fani Willis trial in Georgia? How about the Jack Smith trial where he literally faked an image, literally doctored, photoshopped, my fellow Americans, photoshopped a picture of classified documents? How about the Letitia Big Shame James? You had every single real estate company coming out. Judge Gargamel, remember Judge Gargamel and Letitia Big Shame James? They wanted to fine Trump something like $500 million, $500 million. And then finally, the appellate courts, they were like, you guys are nuts. And they brought that down to like a fifth of that because they're like, you guys are crazy. There was no crime. There was no victim. And the actual companies that supposedly Trump defrauded came on the stand and said, we love doing business with him. He paid back all his debts plus interest. Where's the crime? So, is this a preview of what's going to happen here? God, I hope not. God, I hope not. I want to play this. I want to play this right here. This is President Bolsonaro, former President Bolsonaro. This could happen here, guys, very easily. Wait till you see what I've got. I've got some amazing footage still to come. But I want to share this with you. This is President Bolsonaro talking about the protests today.
Amigos de todo o Brasil, estou em São Paulo e logo mais às 14 horas estarei na Paulista participando de grande ato em defesa da nossa liberdade. Essa semana não é a semana da independência. País sem liberdade não pode comemorar nada nessa data.
A country without freedom of speech is a country that cannot exist. Who agrees with that? Raise your hand if you agree with that. Just give me a hand emoji in the comments right now. I'll go first. Give me a hand emoji in the comments if you agree with that. Give me a hand emoji if you agree with what President Bolsonaro just said.
Eu peço a vocês que não compareçam a nenhum ato cívico patrocinado por esse governo federal que não tem qualquer compromisso com a nossa liberdade. É o governo voltado para ditaduras, contra aquilo que há de mais sagrado em nosso meio, que é a nossa liberdade. Logo mais, então, às 14 horas, na Paulista. Forte abraço a todos e até lá. Amigos.
I don't know if people really understand what's going on here. I see a lot of hands. Fantastic. I love it. Good to see you, Patty. Patty, congratulations on 2 months being a member. Robert Littlejohn. China Baby, big hands up. Jim Barron, big hand up. SK Abstract, big hand up. Sarah, I think it was, right? I love to see all those hands. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans, if we're not careful, if we don't vote accordingly in November, this is us. This is the United States. I've got more. Hang out. I've got so much more. So these dynamics, you got to understand, let me explain something really fastly. These dynamics are mirrored in other democracies, including here, where similar debates are playing out over social media regulation, political polarization, and the integrity of democratic institutions. I've never in my life gone to bed on an election night, as I did in 2020, where a candidate was considerably ahead. It was all but done. I've never seen this happen before in my life. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just looking at this from a critical thinking standpoint. Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, South Carolina. President Trump was ahead by 5, 6, in some instances, double digits as the polls were closing. I went to bed. It was very late in the evening. They were still not ready to call it yet. Okay, that's happened before. That's not a big deal. But I have never gone to bed on an election night where a candidate was that ahead in all of the 5 major swing states. He won Florida too. Georgia, I think Georgia was the other swing state too that he was ahead. Only to wake up the next day and get woken up by my wife saying, "Don't turn on the TV today." I already knew what she meant when she said that. But she couldn't find it in her heart to say Biden won. So she just said, "Don't turn on the TV today." She knew I would understand exactly what that meant. And who do I see when of course I turn on the TV. Who do I see when I turn on the TV? Congratulations, Joe. We did it. One of the most horrific mornings of my entire life. I've never seen that before. Have you? Have you ever seen that before where the candidate you think is going to win, should win, with all intents and purposes did win, was ahead in all swing states considerably, and then only in like a matter of a couple of hours overnight, everything flip-flopped. Have you ever seen that before? I haven't. Maybe I'm wrong. You had the director of cybersecurity say, no. Everything Trump said about the election, wrong. All these agencies, the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, Secret Service, are they agencies that, especially the Secret Service, are these agencies that have instilled your trust, have cultivated your trust over the years? And I'm going to trust some director of cybersecurity saying, oh, no, nothing happened. Nothing happened. And then what just happened in Georgia? I did an entire video on this, by the way. Hundreds of thousands of votes. How many votes did he lose Georgia by? A handful? How many votes did he lose Georgia by? Can somebody tell me? Less than 15,000? 11,000? We had hundreds of thousands of votes that were unaccounted for, that were essentially stolen. So when he got on that phone call that all these liberal hypocrites keep claiming is, oh my God, the phone call, get me 11,000 votes. He was actually right. I'm only missing 11,000 votes. Where are they? He was actually right. He was actually entitled to demand that because they were missing. Now we have proof. I mean, isn't it kind of strange? I mean, you guys tell me in the comments, isn't it kind of strange how Trump has essentially been right about everything? I mean, is it just me or has Trump been right about everything? So the stakes are high for the entire Western world. The situation in Brazil is like a critical case study in how these egregious challenges can potentially destabilize democratic norms if we don't stay on top of this. This is an internal struggle, but it reflects broader global concerns, especially us. I'm going to share with you another video. This is insane. Here's another video from Gustavo Geyer. This is how we fight dictatorship. He says, we will never bend our knees to no dictator. I want to share this with you. These guys are fed up, much like Americans are. I mean, these guys are totally fed up. Check this out.
These people that you see here are freedom-loving people who will never give up on our freedom, who will never give up on our rights. We will never bend our knees to no dictator. We will fight for our democracy no matter what cost. Brazil is now a beacon of hope for every single person who loves freedom and democracy in the world. Learn from Brazil. This is how we fight dictatorship. This is how we fight for our rights. And we will never give up. Thank you. Obrigado, pessoal. Fiquem com Deus.
I mean, look how many people. It's not just thousands. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of people there. Are you kidding me right now? That is absolutely huge. And so Brazil's struggles with democracy and free speech could most definitely impact U.S.-Brazil relations because we're no longer in a national globe. We're no longer in a disconnected world. This is a global economy, not a national economy. It's a global economy. Everything is connected. Global issues affect everybody and are hindered by everybody. One affects all and vice versa. And so it's absolutely imperative that we pay attention to this. And if we're not careful, this is going to happen to us. By the way, I want to share this amazing video from Eva Vardingurbrock. I want to share this where she talks about the fact that it's not just Brazil. And then I want to share with you some alarming footage of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Wait till you see this video of what Tim Walz did during the 2020 lockdowns to his own hardworking, tax-paying Minnesota citizens. You got to stick around for that. But first, I have to share this. This is such an amazing video from an amazing content creator, and I just love what she says here. Watch this carefully and listen up. It's worth a careful listen.
I don't think people realize just quite yet how bad the state of freedom of speech is in the Western world right now. I mean, I hope that you guys have all seen that the United Kingdom is locking up its own citizens for years and years for posting online hate speech, that the founder and CEO of Telegram, Pavel Durov, has been arrested in France, and of course now that X has been banned by one single Supreme Court judge in Brazil. But I think that this can get uglier really fast and much faster than most people think. For example, here in Europe, the legal basis to take down X is already in place. And I'm sure that you guys all remember the weird, crazy guy who sent that threatening letter just a few weeks ago to Elon Musk right before he was talking to President Donald Trump here on X. Well, that guy is not acting alone. Together with Ursula von der Leyen and all of the other commissioners in the European Union, a few years ago, they started working on something called the DSA, the Digital Service Act. And that law has been unanimously passed in Europe already some time ago. And so I wanted to know, how much power does the European Union currently already have to take down X if they wanted to? Well, they're already pestering X quite a lot, and they are able to go after them and order them to remove illegal hate speech, for example. And I'll flash a few more of the systemic risks that the EU is constantly talking about, that these very large platforms such as X have to take down. But where it gets interesting is that X, if, for example, X does not comply with this Digital Service Act, that they give themselves the power to disable access to what they call the infringing service. In this case, that would be X. So in the European Union, this law is already in effect. It has direct effect in every single member state of the European Union, and it has supremacy also over national law. So we are basically already at the mercy of these tyrants, and it is a matter of time. I think this is something that we all really need to see here, is that this is a matter of time till they will really start using these powers. I think the arrest of Pavel Durov was a warning sign to Elon, saying, look, we can do this to you too, we can arrest you too. And I think that these people are insane enough and megalomaniac enough to actually attempt this and to do this. They don't see freedom of speech the way that we do. They have the inverted demonic view of it, where they have to protect democracy by limiting our freedom of speech and by taking down content that they don't like. And of course, that's the content they label as misinformation. So with that said, and being extremely aware of how important this platform is for freedom of speech in general, and also for me to be...
So X, this is why, what an amazing content creator. I highly recommend you follow her on X. But what she just said about the EU, it's not just Brazil. It's not just, and by the way, do you remember what life was like before Trump? What life was like before Elon Musk bought X? I sure do. And it was literally like living in China. You couldn't say anything without getting canceled. You couldn't say anything without getting deplatformed, demonetized, and the like. And I'm going to share with you video of Kamala Harris's stance on this, which to me is indicative and reflective of the same exact dictatorial stances of Brazil's now President Lula and the Supreme Court Justice, who literally just made a blanketed, overthrow and banned X from the entire country because of the same thing. They don't like what you have to say. They don't believe in freedom of speech. unless it's only things that they like to hear, unless you only agree with them. If you disagree, if you dissent, they're going to label that hate speech. Giving the government the power to dictate and to impinge on our civil liberties, our constitutional rights under the First Amendment, is a recipe for disaster. Like I said, just like DEI didn't earn it, is a cancer that needs to be excised. It is a tumor that needs to be removed. What's happening in Brazil? What's happening in the UK? What's happening in the European Union? It spreads like cancer. All of these woke ideologies, multiculturalism, diversity, equity, inclusion, giving puberty blockers to kids before the age of consent without knowing what the long-term healthcare ramifications are, equal outcomes, not equal opportunities. These woke ideologies are cancers. And we're seeing that. I mean, look what happened in Argentina. Look what happened with Milei becoming president. The country has now had one of the strongest economies it's had in years. Once he's eliminated all of the woke regulations, all the woke philosophies and woke principles, especially economic policies, the country is now flourishing in record-breaking time. What does that tell you? That is a huge wake-up call, my fellow Americans. So I love this content creator. I think she's absolutely fantastic, and I think she's just absolutely amazing. Remember, Moraes instructed that X be blocked for all 220 million Brazilians. They're almost the size of America. He is turning Brazil into China. He also said that you could face fines of almost $9,000 a day if you try to use a VPN or try to circumvent this restriction. My fellow Americans, my fellow global citizens, my fellow humanitarians, that is communism. That is a dictatorship. That is tyranny of the highest order, right there. Well, who else believes this? Who else believes this? Well, I want to play a quick clip. This is a quick clip. This is why this is the whole crux right here, everybody. This is the reason I am sharing this. This is the reason I've done my due diligence and my research. I want you to understand that everything is connected. I want you to understand what specifically is happening in Brazil. It's essentially the same thing that they did here in the States, the weaponization of the DOJ, launching all these sham trials, trying to assassinate him, decredit him, defraud him, decredibilize him, and all the above. And thank God it is all backfired. But that's essentially what they did. It's all connected. And so essentially what Brazil has done is the same thing that the hypocrites are doing right now. And you think it's going to change if this autocrat, if this demagogue, if this narcissist Kamala Harris wins? I think not. Listen to this. This is a clip right here of Kamala Harris saying free speech requires government oversight. What do you guys think of that? Let me know in the comments down below before I even play this clip. What do you think of that? Listen to this. You think that this doesn't affect the U.S.? You think that this isn't going to happen over here? Watch this. This is absolutely remarkable, the parallels, remarkable, the similarities to what they're doing in Brazil.
He has lost his privileges and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to...
That's called freedom of speech. Hello? That's called... So she doesn't even know the Constitution. She doesn't even know the Constitution. Well, you know what, Kamala? This is what I do. I'm a professor. So let me actually share with you exactly what the First Amendment entails. Shall I? May I? So here's what the First Amendment actually means, straight from your website. So check this out. This is straight from your website. What does it say there, Kamala? What does it say? The First Amendment of the Bill of Rights, ratified by the framers and founders of our Constitution, provides that Congress make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting its free exercise. It protects freedom of speech, the press, assembly, and the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Congress may make no law abridging that freedom of press and expression and speech. So what she just said, which everything she says is kind of an example of this, what she just said speaks emphatically that somebody who is running for the highest office in the land does not understand the very Constitution that has spawned this beautiful republic. She just said they are not allowed to not have any government oversight. They have too much power. You can't allow millions of Americans to talk freely to each other. That's exactly the exact rebuke to the Constitution, my dear. That's the exact opposite of what the framers envisioned, my dear. I just did, Pablo. Where were you? I just did. We just talked about that. That's what this entire show is about. I feel for you guys. I pray for you guys. I send best tidings, best wishes. I send all my thoughts and prayers to you, Pablo. It's the same exact thing that's happening in Brazil, that's happening in the UK, that's happening in the European Union. It's going to spread, just like these woke ideologies, DEI and more, have spread to the US. Because watch this, I have something even more important to share with you. This is really, really bad. This is Kamala Harris in 2019 vowing to use the DOJ and law enforcement to quote unquote hold social media platforms responsible. I want you to see this. This is remarkable. Check this out.
Will put the Department of Justice of the United States back in the business of justice. We will double the Civil Rights Division and direct law enforcement to counter this extremism. We will hold social media platforms accountable for the hate infiltrating their platforms because they have a responsibility to help fight against this threat to our democracy. And if you profit off of hate, if you act as a megaphone for misinformation or cyber warfare, if you don't police your platforms, we are going to hold you accountable as a community.
How scary is that? So I want to play for you that one more time. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for Moraes in Brazil, for Lula, whatever his name is, in Brazil, is a vote for the tyranny, the dictatorship, the oppression, the censorship, everything that is anti-American, everything that is anti-Constitution. Listen to what she says. Don't believe what you read in the papers. Don't believe what you hear, see. Believe them from their own mouths. When they tell you what they're going to do, believe them.
Cyber warfare. If you don't police your platforms, we are going to hold you accountable who act as a megaphone for misinformation.
What is defined as misinformation? Whatever they want.
Or cyber warfare.
What is cyber warfare? Anything they deem and define?
If you don't police your...
What is hate speech? Anything that they define as hate speech? Anything that they disagree with? That is hate speech. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for what's happening in Brazil. A vote for Kamala Harris is what's going to happen. I mean, she's telling us she's going to do this. You know, they said that Trump was going to be a dictator. They said Trump was going to shut down the press. Trump was going to hit the nukes and start World War III. They did everything they said he was going to do. He's going to oppress, spread hate. He's going to censor. He's going to shut down free speech. Literally, they did everything that they said he was going to do. He didn't do any of that. He already was president for 4 years. And I don't know about you, but I prospered, my family prospered, and my beloved country prospered under Trump. 1 billion%. Raise your hands in the comments if you were happier and you prospered 4 years ago. Raise your hand in the comments right now. Let me show you what Tim Walz wants to do. So that's Kamala. Kamala is literally going to come after anybody who engages in hate speech, whatever that means, whatever they want it to mean, misinformation, whatever that means, and cyber warfare, whatever that means. And if you don't police your platform, very Orwellian. I mean, that is a hit. You want to talk about, they called Trump Hitler, right? And then, he almost gets shot. Or I'm sorry, he did get shot, but he almost gets assassinated. Thank God he didn't. And they stopped calling him that, sort of, even though they're right back to normal. I mean, they're upping the hate speech. They said, "Oh no, we got Biden in his vegetable state. We need to lower the temperature. We need to lower the." You guys were the ones who turned the gas up. You guys were the one who were calling him Hitler. But if you want to call anybody Hitler, that sounds very eerily similar to something that happened in 1939. Oversight, policing, governing, watching, surveying, making sure you don't say anything that disagrees with what we feel is right. That is her sticking her nose out to all freedom-loving Americans right there. But wait, it gets worse. This is Tim Walz in Minnesota of 2020 enforcing curfew. You want to talk about Hitler? You want to talk about Gestapo tactics? I don't know how many of you guys have seen this, but this is one of the scariest sights I've ever seen. You're going to see not only tanks in the street, but watch as armed SWAT teams, it almost seems like, yell at residents who were just sitting on their patio to get back in the house. And then after that, shoot them, actually shoot paintballs at them if they don't comply. Is this what we want in 2024 in America? Is this what we want the next 4 years? Listen to this. Watch this.
Oh, there's more. Look at this. They just keep coming.
Oh, go inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get in your house now! Let's go! Light them up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
Get in.
Oh, God, that hurt. You good?
Are you okay?
Right on the fucking crotch.
Are you okay? You got hit?
I'm good. They're fucked for that, dude. What?
Okay.
Attacking their own citizens. This happened in Minnesota in 2020. This is in Tim the Weirdo Waltz's territory. He made militia, military, SWAT, law enforcement go through the streets of Minnesota in 2020 and attack actual citizens of it. These weren't foreign entities. These weren't people committing any crime. These were people, their only crime that they were committing was going out on their porch to get a breath of fresh air and to see why a tank was rolling down their street. And you heard what the lady said. The lady said, man, that hurt. She got hit right in the, crotch area. And you heard them say, light her up, light her up. They're yelling at her, get back in your house. Get back in your house now. I'm going to play it for you one more time, just in case you missed it, because this is alarming. My fellow Americans, when I say tap the thumbs up, it's not for me. It's not for vanity. We got to get our country back. When you tap the thumbs up, these videos get pushed out to more people. We need to inform. You're not going to see this on mainstream media. You're not going to see this on CNN, ABC, NBC. You're not going to see this anywhere. They don't want to show you this. This actually happened in 2020 in Tim Walz's Minnesota. This wasn't in Canada, wasn't in Mexico, this wasn't in Russia, this wasn't in Europe, this wasn't in the UK. Here, the United States of America. This is what they're going to do if they win. Listen.
There's more. Look at this. They just keep coming.
Oh, go inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get in your house now! Let's go! Light him up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
Get in, get in, get in, get in, get in, get in. Get in.
Oh, God, that hurt. You good?
Are you okay?
Right on the fucking crotch.
Are you okay? You got hit?
So she got hit right in the crotch, and she's complaining that it actually hurt. So you guys, not only did they, look at this, not only did they shoot at them to get in their own house that they paid for, but they're still yelling at them and shining their bright lights even after they went inside. Even after they went inside. Thank you, MG. Yeah, definitely follow me on X because I post so much stuff there that I can't post anywhere else. My fellow Americans, this is about survival. This November is about survival and survival, period. We're not voting for candidates. We're not voting for Trump or Kamala. We are literally voting for tyranny, oppression, censorship, wokeism, anti-America, or a return to our values and principles, a return to what America was used to be and should still be today. Those are your choices, period. Those are your choices. You heard what Kamala said. I am going to enlist the DOJ like they already have done against Trump. They're going to police free speech. They're going to censor. They're going to police platforms, deplatform, demonetize people like me. They're not going to allow us to say anything that they disagree with because they're just going to define it as quote unquote hate speech. We are in the fight of our lives, my fellow Americans. This is what's going to happen to us. This is what's going to be a widespread policy initiative. God forbid if these troglodytes win. This is not the country I signed up for. This is not the country I love. This is not the country I was born, bred, and made in. This is not the country of Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, our forefathers, the framers of our Constitution. This is not America, y'all. This is not America. They don't care. They don't care. They don't give a rat's ass about you, and they don't give a rat's ass about me. They only care about one thing and one thing only: power and the retention of that power. That's it, period. And so I want to end with just one more really special video from inside the protests in Brazil, just to kind of honor these freedom fighters, because I'm just so impressed and I'm so happy that somebody is doing this, because if we're not careful, this is going to be us. If we're not careful, this is going to be us. This is a preview, my fellow Americans. If we don't galvanize, if we don't uprise, if we don't work 100x stronger, harder, blood, sweat, and tears like we never have before, we're going to lose our beautiful democratic republic. We're going to lose our great country. Our kids, our grandkids, our great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandkids, they're not going to remember what America was like. They are going to introduce transgender woke ideology into all the schools like they're already trying to do. critical race theory, which is essentially segregation theory. They're the ones who created. I call Obama the divider in chief. Everything started with Obama. Everything was fine before that. We had normal conversations. I thought everybody, there wasn't this much talk about, there's a black national anthem, there's a white national anthem, there's a yellow this, there's a blue this, there's Asian this. Everything got so divided after Obama. If you agree with that, give me raise your hand in the comments if you agree with that. I call him the divider in chief. If we're not careful, y'all, this is what our country is going to look like. If we're not careful, y'all, they are going to rip the Constitution to shreds. They've already talked about this. So is Biden, in his very minimal, rare states of lucidity, has said they want to pack the court. They want to reform the court. I mean, they want to just change the Constitution. There was even an article in the New York Times saying, is the Constitution bad for America? They want to now go after the very documents that the framers bestowed upon us to make sure to buffer us against this kind of tyrannical dictatorship. They want to destroy that now too. Listen to this. This is so beautiful.
Brazil is fighting against tyranny. That's what we do here in Brazil. We know that we have a lot of enemies like Lula, like Alexandre de Moraes, but we stand here, we fight with our voice. X in Brazil is banned. Who uses this with VPN? We will have some multa inglês. Right. We'll have a fine like what $10,000, but it's still. I'm using X because we need to fight against tyranny, and I'm happy to be here because we have like 1,000 people here, and we need to keep fighting because otherwise they're gonna take our country.
Yeah, that's right.
I appreciate Elon Musk to give voice for Brazilian people and fight for freedom.
There is no doubt that Kamala Harris, Tim Walz have made it very clear. They don't believe in freedom of speech. The only type of freedom of speech they believe in is the type of speech that is agreeable to them, period. And they've made that known time and time again. I see a lot of people in the comments, even people who are DMing me and messaging me saying, hey, Nez, why are you talking about this? Why are you talking? I don't even know what's going on in Brazil. Why are you even bringing this up? Because the mainstream media won't share this with you. What do you mean there's oppression in the UK? I thought the UK was a Western democratic society like us. No, they're not. They're arresting people for posting on Facebook. They're arresting people for posting on X, actually giving them prison time, y'all, which hurts their credibility, defames them in front of their family, coworkers, and businesses, customers alike. And now you heard what that beautiful Netherlands reporter was saying about about the European Union. They're doing it there too. They're enlisting all these DNCAs, these takedowns. They're threatening Elon Musk. You have to ask yourself why? Why are they coming after Elon Musk so hard? Why are they spreading such vitriol and hate? And isn't it funny how the exact same thing that they're doing to Elon Musk is the exact same thing they are doing and have been doing to former president, hopefully future president, Donald Trump. I'm scared beyond scared. I'm nervous beyond nervous. I'm seeing so many people starting to spike the football. Oh my God, Trump is winning in the polls. He's ahead by 10 points now. I don't give a crap how far he's ahead. You underestimate these ruthless hypocrites, you do so at your own peril. You think they're just going to stop? You think they're just going to shrug their shoulders and be like, oh, well, we tried to, destroy America, but it didn't work out. Better luck next time. No, they're ruthless, vicious, malicious, cutthroat. They will throw their mother in traffic before giving up power. Oh, Biden went honorably. Oh, Biden put himself before the country. Oh, did he really? He put himself before the country? No, he was ousted. Just a week before he, quote unquote, stepped down, he said, I want to make myself very clear. I am running. This guy has been trying to be president for 50, 60 years. You think he's just going to give up power because for the good of the country and to pass the torch to the younger folk? Where are they now? Here's the litmus test. Where are they now? Biden's been on vacation for like 100 days straight. Nobody knows who's running the country right now. Is it Kamala? Is it Obama? It sure as hell isn't Biden. He said in his DNC speech, which, by the way, he left the day of. That's never happened. An incumbent president leaves on the day that he gave his speech, which was day one. He left. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm going to Delaware Beach on vacation. Where's Jill? Where's Jill? Where's Dr. Jill? She was everywhere. Oh, we're going to fight. We're going to win. You did so good, Joey. You answered all the questions. Here's a cracker. What happened to Jill? Biden said in his DNC speech he's going to be the most, and I quote, vocal volunteer for the Kamala Harris campaign. Oh, really? Where is he? How come he's not out there doing interviews? How come he's not out there pitching? How come he's not out there in fundraisers raising money? How come he's not out there volunteering? How come he's out there, vegging out and ripening in the sun in beach after beach, California, Delaware, Rhode Island, Massachusetts? Who's running the country? I'm dead serious. Who is running the country? There's no wonder Putin endorsed Kamala Harris. Of course he doesn't want somebody strong like Trump in leadership in America. You guys, this affects so much. This is why I said the global economy. It's not a national economy. It's not a local economy. This is a global economy, and money equals power. You cannot have power without money. And that is manifested in many different arteries and many different manifestations, such as a strong military, a strong economy, peace through strength, what Reagan advocated. These guys, it's not just us who are just sickened to our stomach seeing what's happening to our country, which is bad enough. But you've got President Xi of China. You've got Putin in Russia. You think Putin would have invaded Ukraine if Trump was in office? Not in your life. You've got Kim Jong-un. You've got the Ayatollahs in Iran. They are all salivating. They're going to put in this fake, drunk, unqualified DEI, worst vice president in the history of vice presidents, failed prosecutor, failed district attorney, failed attorney general of California, turned California into a literal dystopia. They're going to put her into office. They're salivating for that. Of course Putin endorsed Kamala. Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't he? Why the heck would they want a strong, powerful, no BS, energetic, vivacious, committed, patriotic, alpha, true leader for America? Why would they want that? They don't want Trump. Of course they don't want Trump. Of course they want Kamala, because they can play with her like a kid in a sandbox. They can do whatever they want. They're not afraid of Biden. They're not afraid of Kamala Harris. Are you kidding me? My fellow Americans, Nez Nation, we are in the fight of our lives. It's not just enough to vote for Trump, okay? It's not just enough. You have got to grab everybody you know by the collar. You need to share these videos out. Tap the thumbs up because it's free. It takes you less than a second. We need to inform, educate. They're not going to see anything that I've shown you over the past hour. You're not going to see that on mainstream media. You're not going to see that in the woke mafia fake news. You're not going to see that anywhere. We need to do more. You need to grab everybody you know, cousins, aunts, uncles, neighbors, friends, triple second removed cousin, whatever, dog, pigeon, snake, turtle. I don't care what it is. You got to grab everybody by the collar and say, you're coming with me. Where are we going? They're going to ask you that. We're going to the ballot box. We're going to the voting booth. It's now or never. It starts at the community level. It starts at the local level. And we build and we gain momentum and we rise together. That's the key. I don't pay attention to the poll. I keep seeing all these channels, all these media organizations, independent grassroots like mine and bigger ones. They're all spiking the football prematurely. Oh, Trump's winning. Trump's winning. He's going to win. He's going to win. Look at him. He's ahead. Oh, we're going to have celebrate in November. Job not finished. Job not finished. Remember what the Mamba said. Kobe Bryant, the great. Reporter asked him, said, Kobe, you're up 2 love in the finals. How come you're not smiling? You remember what his response was? How many people remember what his response was? Let me know in the comments. What's there to smile about? Job finished? I don't think so. Job not finished. What's there to smile about? The job is not finished, my fellow Americans. Not even close. They might still get to him, even if he does. God, I hope, even if he does win in November, they might still get to him. You think that what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania was a one-time thing? You think that they're not going to try that again? You think they're just going to be like, oh, well, we'll just accept the fact that we're going to lose? Ruthless, tyrannical, cutthroat, stop at nothing, hippocrats. Everybody type hippocrats in the comments right now. I'll start. That's what we're dealing with. They're not Democrats. They're hippocrats. So I really can't wait for you guys to stick with us because we're never going to stop. We're never going to stop. I'm going to give shout outs to all the super chats and new members. But if you're just joining us, rewind this. Watch from the beginning. I shared a lot of footage. I connected all the dots. What's happening, just to recap, what's happening in Brazil is tantamount to what's happening in the West, where you have anti-democratic, anti-free speech, pro-woke, pro-terrorist, pro-dictatorship, pro-autocrat ideologies spreading like wildfire across the West. And you've got to think Putin and Xi, President Xi of China, are just laughing. Kim Jong-un just laughing. Look at these idiots in the West. Look at these guys. They're fighting amongst themselves. We don't have to do anything. We just watch it all burn right before our eyes to ashes. Right before our eyes. The stakes are so high, not just for Brazil, because it's democracies worldwide. Disinformation, hate speech, free speech, cyber warfare, whatever they want to call it, everything's at stake. And I demonstrated to you that the same reason the people of Brazil are so upset is the same reason we're upset. They're upset because this Moraes guy, the Supreme Court justice, made a blanketed overreach of his judicial powers and literally just said, I command that we ban X because I don't like what Elon Musk is doing. I don't like the fact that he's giving my citizens the right to say what they want to say. And Kamala Harris has, in not so many words, said the exact same thing that what she's going to do when she gets power. So this affects everybody. This affects all of us. And it's imperative that we work 100x stronger. I want to give a big shout out to Jim Barron. Thank you so much, Jim Barron, for gifting a Professor Nez membership. Whoever you are who got that membership, don't forget, we have a ton of amenities for becoming a member. If you haven't become a member yet, it only costs you a cup of coffee a month to support the greatest channel on planet Earth fighting for America. You're here, right here, Professor Nez. You also get access to top priority live Q&A when we have guests on. You get your questions answered first. Live stream giveaways. We've given away Amazon gift cards in the hundreds of dollars, hats, merch, shirts, clothing, all sorts of cool giveaways, cash. You also get access to our members only Discord. So in the community tab, there is a post for members only. Once you become a member, that has a link to that Discord, or connect with Jim Barron, who's one of our top mods here, and connect with them on Discord, and they will give you a link to our members only Discord. Thank you, Fletch, for the $5 super chat. The fact that this story won't be seen is an attack on free speech. 100%. Thank you, Fletch. Very well said. I applaud you. Very well said. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much, Fletch. Ivan Popovich. Thank you so much, Ivan, for the $10 super chat. God is always on time. Protection. Professor, this is amazing. Holy macadamia nut. Absolutely. Ivan, I'm so happy to see you. Patty, congratulations on being a member for 2 months. That's so cool. Congratulations, Patty, for being here. Jim Barron gifted another because he's JB. He's the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you, JB. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Fletch, thank you again for a $2 super chat. Where will the re-education camps be in the U.S.? Good question. Let's just hope. I pray. Please, God. Please, God, Father in heaven, I beg you, please don't let that happen. Please. Let the chosen one, please give all of your power, give all of your grace, give all of your help to President Donald Trump so he can restore our great republic. Amen. Oh, I hope so. Oh, I hope so. I'm going to work 10 times harder. John Lies, it's so great to see you. John has gifted not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 memberships. John, you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, John Lies. It's great to see you. Fletch, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Free for me, but not for thee. That is their mindset. Thank you so much, Fletch. It is a real honor to have you here. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. MG in the house. Get out there and make people hear the truth, have info at the ready to answer questions, and tell people America is in trouble. Thank you, MG, for the $5 super chat. You are phenomenal. I'm so happy to have you be a part of this family, being a member, being a mod. You, my dear, are amazing. Thank you. Tanya Newsom-Fry, congratulations on being a member for 4 months. Holy macadamia. That is so cool, Tanya. You are an OG now. You're a veteran now here, sister. So great to have you here. Thank you so much. So, my fellow Americans, Nez Nation, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you sign up for our free newsletter. Tap the thumbs up if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I appreciate you guys watching, commenting, liking. It means the absolute world to me. And more important than anything, it helps us. I think media is one of the greatest tools to get our message out there. It's one of the greatest tools to influence and share people and educate people on what's really happening. You know, we've seen propaganda work with the woke fake mafia media. It can actually work in our favor too when we share the truth. So I really, really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, Mary Beth Marapode. I hope I'm saying that right. I apologize for the super sticker, $5 super sticker. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you, Mary Beth. God bless. That means a lot to us. So make sure that you stay tuned. We pretty much produce new videos every single day. Check out these videos coming up on the screen. Check out our latest videos that you probably may have missed that we posted in the last day or two. I promise you will not be disappointed. Go check them out. God bless all of you. Thank you so much for being here. And God bless America. I'll see you guys